Hey, hey. I know you're like, why she be saying that all the time? Welcome back to another episode of Joyfully Homeschooling Boys, where this mom is on this homeschool journey for the long haul until one of my kids say, it's over. And that's where we at. And so today, we are going to talk about IEW's Fix It grammar. And this is the Frog Prince student book level 5. This is the level that we are on. And this level has 30 weeks. IEW gives you an appendix in the back. They give you the whole story in the back that you are editing through. And they give you all of the parts of speech and things that you need to know for the book. Now, you get 120 vocabulary words. Grammar is taught in the context. Repetition ensures mastery. Editing skills transfer better to writing. So learn it, mark it, fix it, rewrite it, review it. So I just want to talk about how I use grammar in my homeschool. We have worked through 85 chapters of Grammar for the Well-Trained Mind. And if you haven't seen that video, I will try to put it right up there for you if you want to check that out. And if you don't know, here on this channel, I use grades because I just don't use my kids' names. So when you say my 10th grader or my 11th grader, it's just because I don't use their names, not because I'm such a stickler for, oh my gosh, they're in this grade, that grade. Okay. I like this as an added thing for high school because it does not take that long, first of all. So one thing I do not do with this, we do not do every page at all. They do 2 to 3 pages out of every lesson for the week. This enables me to move faster through the lessons. So we might do week 1 and week 2 in 1 week because they are basically going to 1 week. And if you don't know what it looks like, when you start off a week, basically it says learn it and it has all the information. At this point, my high schoolers are reading this independently because I already know they kind of know all the stuff in here. All right. So independently, you hear that. So they read the pages. It's usually a front and back page, and then they edit 1 page. And then the next day I will have them edit up to 1 to 2 pages, depending on what's in it. Now, for weeks like 1 through 5, they were actually only doing 2 pages because a lot of that stuff is repetitive of things they really already know. So in me making this work in my homeschool, because over here we are college bound, so for me to kind of get all the things in and really work towards where they want to go and where they're headed, I don't want to boggle it down with grammar anymore. And actually, I feel like once we hit book 6, probably in the summer, I don't think I'm taking grammar into my highest one's already in his last 2 years. I really don't want grammar dragging into their bigger years because I feel like even that 15 minutes needs to go towards another subject. And so the next thing how I use it in my home, 1, I don't do all the pages, and 2, they do it independently. Number 3 is that check and review. So after they do all their lessons for the week, this is usually 4, 5, 6 pages that they do for the week, I go in and I check it. And so right now at this level, it's kind of good if you have like color pencils and or a black and blue, because some of the areas, the punctuation or the correction can get so tight that you really can't see what they're editing. So this year for this level, I am really getting them, level 5, getting them to use more than 1 color because it's starting to look like a jungle. Okay, starting to look like a jungle. And when I go to check it, I can't really see what they're putting, especially for those that like to breeze through stuff and don't care what it looks like. It looks like a jungle. It's a jungle. And so I check it and I review it. Now, when they are getting things wrong, this is how I'm looking through the book. Up to level 10, I feel like it's stuff that they kind of know. It's kind of a review from the previous. And so once they pass week 10, I feel like the things start to pick up. And then once they get past week 20, it's really like you're really in the thick of it. And so in this level, by the time you get into the bigger lessons, you are editing a lot of stuff, as you can see. And so once all of this is here, you want more than one color. And when they rewrite it, sometimes I make them write it in cursive. That's another thing that you could make your child do to practice their cursive without practicing cursive. And so basically, whatever is in week 1 to 10, once they start in week 11, I feel like they shouldn't be getting that wrong anymore. If they are still getting it wrong, then it's something that I make them go back and review and read over. And then I also make sure I review it with them, because I need to make sure that they're understanding what they're marking and where they're making their mistake. All right. And so the other thing that I tend to do is in each sentence, they give you a bolded word. So they take this bolded word and they look up the definition and they write it up here. They can write it right where it is. But this is another way of doing vocabulary, because as you heard earlier, there are 120 vocabulary words in this book that they can learn. And so either they know it or they don't know it and they go look it up. Now, if they feel like they know it, they are allowed to write a definition. As long as I feel like it makes sense, I will be fine. Like it says, he is a mute child, which means if they say, oh, he can't, he can't hear, or depending on hear or speak in the context. So as long as they can give me the context of close to it without looking it up, they don't even have to look it up. And so this is how I use IEW in my homeschool and how I don't let it overwhelm me. And also, once I finish it, I kind of take a break and just get the next book and keep it moving. This year, they already know I have made a judgment call and decision that we will basically be year-round homeschoolers. Of course, we will take more weeks off in the summer, but we are going to be schooling. At this point, I kind of want to rev up math and get them to a certain point before they graduate. And so, yeah, so Fix It Grammar. If you have any questions, just drop those questions on in the comments. But I like Fix It Grammar because I don't have to do every page. They can do it independently. I can check it and review it without having to do it every single day. And last but not least, the vocabulary is just an addition of them getting vocabulary, where you don't really have to add in another vocabulary book or work. And even with IEW writing, you're getting vocabulary. So I feel like these are good curriculums that are giving you more bang for your buck. And so, yes, these will always be a part of our homeschool until they're not. I have not moved my 7th grader into this grammar because I feel like I am still in the stages of wanting to give him a really thorough backing of just what is what, and not just reading the pages and saying, oh, I know what that is, and not really working it out. I feel like my older two have kind of worked through the well-trained mind. My younger one has done well-trained mind up to about lesson 30, and he did that about twice, I want to say. And so I feel like for him, I didn't really want to go back to that book to take it all crazy. The one thing I will say that I have realized in our homeschool journey about the whole grammar thing is that even though IEW is a fix-it type thing, I'm still using it because I feel like a lot of the grammar curriculums, they cover stuff, and it's like they do cover commas, but they don't really cover all the rules in a big, thing. So that's something that I'm trying to incorporate more so the punctuation side, because I feel like punctuation is not really a heavy hitter in some grammar curriculums, at least for what I've used. I've only used 3, and Jack Crisp Publishing, IEW Fix It Grammar, and Grammar for the Well-Trained Mind. So I've always wanted to try easy grammar, but I felt like I don't want to jump into something else because this is already working for our homeschool. So don't do it. Don't do it. So for my younger one, I did go back to Jack Crisp Publishing for 7th grade, and I'm probably going to keep that for the 8th grade. And I'm just one of those type of people. I need a curriculum because that is just the type of mom that I am. I need something that's going to guide me and making sure that my kids get what they want. Also, I felt that for science, for reading, I wish that I would have spent more time digging into actually teaching the deeper aspects of literature. But here we are, and we're journeying and walking through it. So me, even in learning, even in homeschooling, just keep going. You're learning, and I'm not going to go off left field. But it's a journey, and you kind of learn along the way. As long as you are keeping notes of what your children is learning and what they're struggling with, you know how to pivot and get what they need. And I feel like that's the most beautiful thing about homeschooling, is because we can all be flexible and we can all find what our kids need, whether it be paid or free. It's out there and you can get it. This is how I use Fix It Grammar in my homeschool. And if you have not and you are still here, hit that subscribe to help your girl out. I'm glad that you're watching my videos and just being around here to be a part of this homeschool community. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hit that like and notification bell, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Check you out later.